going 7-9, okay? I'm not going 7-9. I'm not going 7-9. I'm not going 7-9.
Welcome to the Grueling Truth LA Rams 2.0 weekly show, brought to you by thegruelingtruth.net and Gridiron Mo, an interesting new interactive football game app which pits you against other football fans across the country in predicting the next play within live NFL games. Think you're smarter than the average fan? See for yourself at Gridiron Mo through thegruelingtruth.net or directly at gridironmo.com. My name's Oz Davis. I'll be your co-host of the Rams 2.0 show, and joining me, as always, is former Notre Dame, Buffalo Bills, and Los Angeles Rams great Tony Hunter. Tony, how's it going today?
Oh, everything's going wonderful, Oz. I tell you what, there's a lot of excitement in the air as far as Ram football is concerned. A lot of good things that are going on, so I'm excited to talk about it today.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. And a slightly big story, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, it's completely unexpected. In any case, last week, the LA Coliseum hosted what was either a pretty low-scoring football game or a pretty high-scoring baseball game. The Rams beat the New York Jets out there 9-6. Tony, we both predicted a Rams win. We both predicted a defensive struggle, so I guess we can congratulate ourselves for that. But I wanted to ask you, what were your takeaways? What were your impressions of this game?
Well, it was a defensive struggle, and as a former offensive player and a tight end, a former wide receiver, I love those games where they're throwing that ball around the field. But the Rams didn't manage to score a touchdown all day. 3 field goals. I believe the Jets scored 6 points and then missed the extra point. But it was a defensive struggle, and the Rams were able to pull it out. Right now they're 4-5, and coming back home to the Coliseum against the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, let's talk the big news. The big news this week is that Jared Goff, of course, will be starting at quarterback for the Rams.
Yes.
Coming in relief after 3 games in which the offense led by Case Keenum produced 1 touchdown combined. How excited? I guess you've already kind of answered without me asking, but I wanted to ask you, how excited are you to see Mr. Goff on Sunday against the Dolphins, and what are you expecting, if anything?
Well, you know what? I am so glad to see Jared Goff be getting into the Rams offense. The Rams are currently the lowest scoring offense in the entire NFL. We need to make a change. With the lowest scoring offense in the entire NFL, we need to make a change. Jared Goff, basically we haven't heard much about him as far as his playing is concerned here lately and the production that he's had in the past. But there's a few things that I wanted to kind of refresh Ram fans in their memory as far as Jared Goff is concerned. Of course, he was the number 1 overall pick for the 2016 draft. The Rams gave up a lot to get him. They gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 2 third-round picks to get in position to be able to draft this guy. And just judging from his statistics at Cal while he was there, I can see why they were so excited about getting him. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at some of his stats when he was at Cal. He played as a freshman. He played 12 games as a freshman.
Right.
Came in, threw the ball, 530 attempts, 320 completions, completed 60% of his passes for 3,500 yards. He had a quarterback rating of 123.4 as a freshman at Cal. So hopefully that's an indication of what's going to be coming for the Rams this weekend against Miami.
Okay. When we were ready to pick him, I guess, when the front office was ready to pick him in the week leading up to the draft, they didn't reveal the name, but they teased with the guy that we chose is a winner. Okay. Uh-huh. On the other hand, his Cal Bears were never fantastic. They had mostly winning seasons, but were never top 20, never a top 25 program or anything like this.
Right.
The strange thing, I mean, aside from all the strange attitude that Coach Fisher has had towards him this entire season, I think just refusing to play him and barely giving him reps with the first team until just recently. What's bizarre for me is this. I saw him in the preseason, and they weren't allowing him to air it out, as they say. He never went long in the preseason, and in the preseason, he was under 50% completion rating. I believe it was around 45, so about 4 out of 9 passes he's completing. How do you think this reflects, especially given that he's playing against second-string defenses in the preseason?
Yeah, I just hope he's in an offense that complements the gifts he has as a quarterback. He threw the ball quite a bit at Cal. I'm looking at some more of his stats. As a sophomore, he played 12 games. He attempted 502 passes. He completed 316 for 3,900 yards for 62.1% completion rating. He had a quarterback rating of 147%. Then as a junior, he threw the ball again quite a bit. He had 529 attempts, completed 341.
Okay.
And he had a completion rate of 161.2. So he's been in an offense where he's thrown the ball quite a bit. Now, if Jeff Fisher holds true to what he's been doing as far as trying to throw the football, I think it'll be a good fit for Jared to get in there and throw that ball around. But the guy obviously can handle the pressure of coming in, came in as a freshman, played a lot, played under fire, and produced. Hopefully he'll do that same thing with the Rams. I think it's in his DNA to do that. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, as far as pressure is concerned, one nice thing for Goff is that the bar is set pretty low on his production. Again, 1 touchdown in 3 games is not a very high bar to have to get over. Interesting points that you brought up. They got to complement his skills. And what's been happening in recent weeks, I'd say about the past 4 or 5 games or so, is that Kenny Britt has emerged as the leading receiver on this team. Now, I guess the question, Tony, is do you believe Kenny Britt can be a long ball threat?
Yeah. I like Kenny Britt. I like him as a receiver. I think he's on his way to the Pro Bowl if he can continue to play as well as he has been. He's a big, strong wide receiver, and I think under Goff he could just get even better if Goff is targeting him. But no, I like Britt. I think he's trying to go to the Pro Bowl this year, and I think he will if Goff continues to get him the football.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It'll be an interesting battery to look for out there on the field. Let me ask you this one. I don't know if you've ever been witness to a quarterback controversy kind of situation, but it just came out today in the USA Today that Case Keenum was, quote, surprised and not at all happy to hear that he would not be starting this week against the Dolphins.
Yeah. I don't know why he's surprised when he's dead last in offense in the entire National Football League. I don't know why he was surprised. But I think
it has something to do with the fact that Fisher said, we're not going to go with Goff until we're mathematically eliminated.
Right, probably so. Probably so. But I think, another thing that's playing a part in what's going on right now, the Rams are breaking ground on that new stadium in Inglewood today. As we speak, I think they broke ground this morning at 11 o'clock Pacific time. And now so you're opening the new stadium. Here's your franchise quarterback going to get his first start this week. So that may have played a part in it, why the decision was made to go ahead and give Goff a shot to play.
Well, now that's interesting. Just headline grab, just local media attention, basically. Perhaps it's a good play with the Lakers being so exciting and interesting this season early on. Do you follow hoops at all?
Oh, most definitely. While I was in L.A., I went to a lot of the Laker games. A lot of the Laker games. That was my favorite sport coming out of high school, basketball. I was an all-state basketball player and was recruited by quite a few Division I schools to play basketball.
Wow. What were you playing, number 4? Are you playing center?
At Moeller, I played center, but I moved around quite a bit. It was I would bring the ball up the court at times, but I was more of a swing forward. The strength of my game was inside, jumping and athletic ability, but I was all-state basketball player. Love that sport.
Wow, very interesting. So not to get too far afield, but I got to ask you, so who do you support? Are you a Cleveland fan, Cavaliers fan?
Oh, love the Cavs. Love the Cavs. What they've been able to do for Cleveland, for the economy in Cleveland, I'm just really excited. A lot of people, they don't like LeBron because the way he handled that Miami situation, and I can somewhat understand it. But to me, being a native here of Ohio, being a Buckeye all my life, and being a big basketball fan, like I said, basketball was my favorite sport. So Ohio basketball, I followed it my whole life. And with LeBron being an Ohio product, it really makes me proud to see that he's representing Ohio basketball. And he's doing so well at the highest level.
How about it? Yeah, I think he really redeemed himself with the whole return to Cleveland, finally getting that city championship, et cetera, et cetera.
But, and you know what? They have a shot to do it again this year.
Oh, absolutely.
In years to come.
Yeah, I think they're the favorites. This year. But in any case, back to the Rams. Interesting that you pointed it out. Sort of these pieces of the foundation for the future kind of falling into place, both business-wise as well as on the field. So let's talk about that other key component that hasn't quite come together, Todd Gurley. Now, just today, a Bleacher Report, a guy called Chris Sims over there at Bleacher Report, did sort of a survey or a study or whatever on Todd Gurley. And just, we all know, it's no secret that this offensive line is incredibly weak. And yet Gurley's production has been low even for this. At 3.1 yards per carry, he's dead last among number 1 running backs in the NFL. That is to say, those who get the most carries for each team. Dead last, 32nd in the league. He pointed out that he's in the bottom 10 as well in yards after contact, just not being able to break tackles, especially when you look at a guy like Benny Cunningham. Here's Benny Cunningham getting 6 carries against Gurley's 29 or 20-some-odd in the last game and getting nearly as many yards. We all know that Gurley is a north-south runner. But he seems to be completely unable to go to either side. Now I'm wondering, Tony, can he develop this skill, or is he simply, and sometimes when I look at him, I think he's just simply demoralized? What would you say?
You know what? He kind of reminds me of DeMarco Murray when he runs. And if you look at DeMarco, what he's doing this season behind a really good offensive line.
Yes.
It's made a difference in his career, a big difference. I think what's going to make a difference, the Rams have had problems with that offensive line. That offensive line has not been very impressive this year. And I think that's part of the reason why we're throwing the ball so much. But it was predicted that we'd take advantage of Gurley this year and run the football. But I don't think the run blocking is there this year. And it kind of makes me wonder if now that Goff is a starting quarterback, are we going to stick to that same game plan as far as throwing the football? We've been a predominantly throwing team this year, and that's right up his alley. That's right up Goff's alley. So maybe we'll continue to throw it. Maybe we'll become more effective throwing the football under Goff, because I believe he's going to be a more talented passer than Keenum was. And who knows, maybe that'll help with our run game. And Todd Gurley, it should. It definitely should.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've known all season you've got to get the opposition to stop stacking the box. You see what happens. Every time Gurley goes off the field, the box loosens up a little bit. Cunningham is able to bust through for 6 or 7 yards. I mean,
right.
That's what's happening here. Now, Cunningham seems to be a bit more, lateral, I guess you would call it these days, than Gurley has been this season, but still. Now, again, the thing about Goff, his selling point is the arm, which is way stronger than Mr. Keenum, and the ball placement. He can hit the different spots on the field. Now, all he has to do is do that to the minimum, and just loosen up that box, that stacking of the box, and then Gurley has some holes. You would hope.
I think you will, too. I think you will. As I said, in college, he was in a passing offense. They were playing, first-rate teams out there at Cal, being in the Pac-12. So I think he has a little bit more experience as far as reading defenses than Keenum had coming into the league. I think it's going to take experience for him to catch up with the pro game, because things are going to be a little bit different. Things are faster in the NFL. But I believe he'll be able to do it. I believe he'll be able to make the adjustment. I believe he's just been blessed with more talent as far as throwing the football. So we'll see. But if he is successful, if we continue to throw the football the way we have been, I think you'll see a much more dynamic offense. And I think you'll start to see Todd Gurley get on track and start running the football like he can.
All right. Liking the optimism from Tony Hunter, co-host here at the LA Rams 2.0 show, as presented by thegruelingtruth.net. Let's talk about next week's game. We got the Dolphins. Now, I think this is kind of the wrong time for the Rams to be catching the Dolphins, but on the other hand, I don't think you really want to debut your number one pick against the New England Patriots.
No.
Dolphins are now 5-4. Really, things are coming together for them. Nice, impressive 31-24 win over the San Diego Chargers, who are supposed to be a playoff contender. That's their fourth win in a row. Jay Ajayi, of course, has been the main weapon, and he's been fantastic. But in a couple of games recently, even when he doesn't whip off the monster 200-yard game, the Dolphins are still pulling things off. Tannehill is improving, mostly because he's not throwing so much, I think, over past seasons. But I would argue that he's just susceptible to the rush as any other quarterback out there. Can the Rams, keep the game low scoring here to pull out the win, Tony? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. Our defense is what's been carrying us all year. That's what they've been carrying us all year, and I think they'll continue to do that. As I look down at the Rams' schedule for the remainder of the season, we have the Dolphins at home, the Saints away, then we have the Patriots away. Okay. We have the Falcons at home. We have Seattle, I believe that's away. Is that at home or away? I'm not sure about that one.
Let's see. The first one was away, so that one would be home. That one would be home.
Seattle's at home, 49ers at home, and we also have the Cardinals at home. So, the Rams can make a statement coming down the stretch, and I like I said, defense wins titles, and I believe we have the defense. Now that we have Jared Goff in there on offense, maybe it'll spark the offense, and who knows, we could finish strong, and we still have a shot to win the division. We definitely still have a shot.
Okay, let's get really wild, all right? What happens if Goff comes in here and he performs like another Dak Prescott? What if he comes in here and completely blows it out? Then what do we say about Jeff Fisher having sat him for 8 weeks? He just got it wrong?
I think we'll say, I'll say he's done what he's always done. He's protected his prize rookie quarterback. He brings them along slowly, and when he thinks they're ready to play, he puts them in, and they're normally successful.
All right.
Yeah, they're normally successful when he does that. Now, I think, to be honest, I've been calling for Jared Goff to get in the game because we've just been so vanilla on offense. It's just really haven't shown any type of potency at all with our offense. But I can see where Jeff Fisher wouldn't want to just throw a guy like that into the fire, because if he gets in there and he's under it's a great rush and he's being hit, it's destroyed a lot of NFL careers. And I can think of one the Bengals had, David Klingler. When he was with the Bengals, he was kind of thrown into the fire. And, when you're a rookie quarterback and you're taking shots at your knees and from behind, and it's normal. It's gonna break your confidence. And if you're not playing that position with confidence, you're not going to be successful.
Well, he didn't look so bad when we were 3-1. They put up 37 points against the Buccaneers in week 3. Right. It was like, what happened here? There was a 3-week stretch where bam, 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 you lose to Buffalo, you lose to Detroit, you lose to the Giants over there in England, and just all of a sudden now Keenum is just, you talk about this lack of confidence. That happened somewhere in that stretch. Since that time, the Rams have scored 29 points in 3 games. So, it's wild the way it happened, but I think, hopefully, again, I think the key to this game is going to be Britt. And
you know what, though, Oz? They were saying the last number 1 overall pick in the National Football to win his first start was David Carr back in 2002 when he was playing for Houston. Now, to bring up David Carr's name, it makes me think about the quarterback the Raiders have in place right now. I believe that's David Carr. Is that his younger brother? That's the quarterback for the Raiders right now. But I love watching that kid play quarterback. He's got a quick release. He has command of that offense, and just love watching him play. So, David Carr, the first pick of the draft in the NFL to win his opening start. Maybe Goff will do the same.
Yeah, the Raiders are looking fantastic, and I just keep thinking, wow, Las Vegas is going to get a nice team there.
Yeah, well, it's looking more and more like they're going to be leaving Oakland because they can't get that stadium built. It looks like they're going to be leaving, and Las Vegas will be getting an unbelievable team because outside of the Dallas Cowboys, I think the Raiders have the best offensive line in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
They may have the best offensive line in the NFL right now.
They're huge. I heard the statistic. I think it was on Pardon the Interruption over there on ESPN, where they said the average dude on the Raiders' offensive line is 315.
Oh, yeah. When you watch them, they remind me of that line back when Gene Upshaw was on that line. I mean, they just maul people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is like Cowboys, in the Emmitt Smith days. I mean, these guys are huge. I mean, and they're good, and they're young.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's quite a line.
I would not. And as far as the Cowboys are concerned, I think Jerry Jones knows he has a good thing going right now. He decided to stay with Prescott, and Tony Romo was very graceful in just saying, "This is Dak's team right now. He's earned the right to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys right now." I thought that was a very classy move on Tony Romo's part.
Yeah, and ironic. I mean, Romo was on the other side of this equation way back when with Drew Bledsoe, right?
Yes. So I think he can respect the situation, and I just thought he handled that with a lot of class.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have to do because it's the reality of the NFL, and no one would be surprised if Dak Prescott got injured before this season is done. This Cowboys season is done.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when Tom Brady Wally pipped Bledsoe, in fact, out of a job in New England, and in that AFC Championship game, Brady got knocked out. Brady was out of that game, and Bledsoe completed the touchdown pass. They won. They advanced.
Oh yeah, NFL quarterbacks are under so much pressure. The defense coordinators, their focus is to get after that quarterback, make him nervous, get him out of the game. But their focus is on that quarterback. So to have two good ones, actually two starting quarterbacks in Dallas right now, is definitely a good thing.
All righty. Let's get you out of here, Tony. But since I know you can't resist, let me give you a plug for your show here. Tony is also on the weekly Fighting Irish football show here at thegruelingtruth.net. And tell us, what latest impressions of the Irish?
I'll tell you what, our last game was against Army. We came out. We were playing good, tough, physical football on both sides of the ball. I haven't seen that in about 4 or 5 weeks for the Irish. We've been playing passive. I had heard that we are the football team that been practicing in just helmets, no shoulder pads at all. The previous 4 or 5 weeks before that Army week. And then I believe they went back to practicing in helmets and shoulder pads. I'm not 100% on this now, but I had been hearing that up until the week before Army, up until the Army week, they had been practicing in just helmets and sweats, which it made sense to me because when they were on the football field, come game day, they weren't playing physical football. And it looked like they had possibly been practicing in just helmets with sweats. That Army week, I think they put the pads back on in practice. I think they started to hit in practice because game day, on both sides of the ball, the Irish looked physical and they were playing Notre Dame football, which was good to see. And I'll say this, if they continue to play that way, we can win out. We can win out. We've got a tough USC game coming up here in a couple of weeks. But
USC has been looking really good lately.
Yeah, they surprised me. They surprised me last week. That was a big win for them last week.
How about it? Yeah, they're getting into that top 10 discussion at least. I don't think they're going to be in the playoff contention. But if you'd like to hear more from Tony on Notre Dame and other college football, check out the Notre Dame Fighting Irish Weekly show here at thegruelingtruth.net. Me, I'm Oz Davis. I'm everywhere on thegruelingtruth.net. You can catch me all over the place, even if you don't want to sometimes. So for this week, for the LA Rams 2.0 show, I'm signing off. For my co-host, Tony Hunter, I'm Oz Davis. Go Rams!
Go Rams!
I'm not going 7-9. Okay?